Are you an artist that is struggling to paint clouds? Perhaps your clouds look like cotton wool balls stuck to the sky. Well, what if I told you that painting convincing clouds is actually easier than you think? So in this video, I'm going to show you an easy way to paint realistic looking clouds. So here I'm painting in my local area in far north New Zealand, and I really noticed the clouds on my way to this location, so I wanted to make this a feature of the painting. Now, even though I'm painting outdoors from life, my methods for painting here are exactly the same as if I was painting this in my art studio. Now, in order to paint my cloudscape here, I'm painting on an 8" by 8" linen panel, which I got from Seascape. The link is in the description box below if you want to get some. I'm painting in oils, and the brand of paint I'm using is Blue Ridge Oils, and again, if you want to get some, I've put the link in the description box below. And I'm sketching out the composition with burnt sienna mixed with liquid original. Now, the first thing I do whenever I start any landscape painting, especially if I'm painting outside, is to paint the dark values and shadows first. So this sets the framework for the whole tonal dynamic in the painting. So the general rule is that we'll find our darkest darks and our lightest lights in the foreground, and then as landforms recede, the darks aren't as dark and the lights aren't as light. And by sticking to these rules, you're going to be able to create great depth and distance in your paintings and make those distant landforms look like they're in the distance. So I'm using varying mixes of ultramarine blue with burnt sienna, titanium white and a little alizarin crimson. And this is often because as landforms recede as well, they tend to have a blue cast to them as many of the colours drop out, especially greens and yellows. Now, in this landscape, I want the distant hills to fade out and blend into the distant clouds. Now, as I said just a moment ago, I always paint my dark values first, and I consider the cloud shadows among them, even though clouds are actually generally relatively light in value, but I still keep these in with my shadows. So now I'm painting the cloud shadows that are in the distance, and I'm using a mix of ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, titanium white and a little alizarin crimson. So the burnt sienna desaturates the blue, as burnt sienna is a dark orange and orange is opposite to blue on the colour wheel. Then I can adjust the value with some titanium white, and I mix in a little alizarin crimson to give the mix a violet tint. Now, those distant clouds are quite a bit lighter than the clouds that are further forward in the painting, so this is something to remember from the get-go. Your distant clouds are much likely to be lighter in value than the clouds that are further forward and even the clouds above you. Now, I'm using a number 5 bristle flat brush here for some broad gestural brush marks, and the cloud colour mix that I've used is a great go-to colour mix for mixing clouds. In fact, most of the clouds that I paint, I usually use these colours, and I often use these colours for my distant landforms, so it adds to the colour harmony of the painting. So we can achieve colour harmony by using common colours throughout the painting. Now, next I'm starting to paint in some of these cloud highlights here, and I'm using a mix to start with of just titanium white with a little burnt sienna. Now, as I've used these in the cloud shadows, they're going to mix in really nicely together. So we can just start adding in a few cloud highlights. Now, I'll be coming back to the cloud highlights later on in the painting, as well as the cloud shadows, but in general I'm going to be saving my lightest value colour until the end of the painting. So I'm getting this initial highlights down now. It's mixed in with the liquid original, which is going to help to speed up the drying time. So hopefully by the time I've finished this painting, which was generally about an hour and a half, it will have started to form a bit of a tack where I can layer on some thicker paint. So this is where I'll be adding my lightest values. So when you're painting clouds, don't overcomplicate them. Start off by painting the cloud shadows first and use that mixture: ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, titanium white and alizarin crimson. You'll only need the tiniest amount of alizarin crimson, it's just a tinting colour. And really you want to edge the clouds more on the blue side, so they're going to be like a grey blue. Depends also on the atmosphere of the day, but I found that by adding a little bit more blue, it reduces the chances of your clouds looking muddy. When you paint your clouds, use something like a number 5 or number 6 bristle flat brush. Generally the biggest brushes you can get away with for the size of the canvas that you're painting on. and just use thick gestural brush marks. Now that I've got the general form of my clouds marked in, I start working on the background and midground and foreground here. So I am going to be coming back to the clouds. Now another thing about the composition here is I've gone for a low horizon. So one of the things we don't want to do is add our horizon line right in the middle of the canvas. Either go for a high horizon or a low horizon. And as this is a cloudscape where I want the clouds to be the main feature of the painting, I've gone for a low horizon here. Now for those distant greens, it's really important that we use low chroma colours. Chroma is another word for saturation, but we can't have intensely bright colours here. They've got to be low chroma, and I used a mix of yellow ochre with some ultramarine blue and some titanium white. It's really important that that green is pale. Now as I came forward in the painting, I can then increase the saturation of the green. So I was using varying mixes of yellow ochre, cadmium yellow medium, ultramarine blue, titanium white, and then also some cobalt teal and alizarin crimson. Now I've added some darker tone in the midground to create shadows because I wanted a bit of a spotlighting effect in the landscape to add interest. So for the areas in light, I've pretty much used the same colours, only there's more cadmium yellow medium in the mix and titanium white. And then for some of the greens more in the foreground, I've also mixed in a little bit of cadmium red light. Now when mixing greens, it's always a good idea to add a colour with some kind of a red element into it, because red is opposite to green on the colour wheel. So the red will help to desaturate the green, but it'll also make it look more organic and natural, so you don't end up with horrible looking greens, which is one of the dangers of painting greens in landscape paintings. They can either look really great if you get the greens right, but if you get them wrong, they really can look quite nasty. So as I say, one of the ways that we can do this is to add a colour that contains red. So this could be something like a cadmium red light, which I generally use for greens in the foreground where the greens are more saturated. But you could also use alizarin crimson or burnt sienna, both which contain red. And generally I'd use these colours for greens that are in the midground or in the background. So as I say, it's just going to help calm down those greens and make them look more organic and natural. So generally I've got most of my painting covered here, and what I was doing next was adding more of the dark shadows in the trees here. So trees are some of the darkest values in the landscape, and I was painting the tree shadows there, mainly using a mix of ultramarine blue with some yellow ochre. Now whilst trees are some of the darkest values in the landscape, clouds and skies are generally some of the more lighter values in the landscape, and they really can look quite light. There are some exceptions to the rule. For example, stormy looking clouds can look quite dark, but generally they're more on the lighter end of the value scale. Now if you're struggling to create realistic looking landscapes, you can't seem to paint the landscapes that you imagine in your head, and you're having difficulty with composition, tonal values, colour mixing, well, let me help you with that. I'm giving away a free landscape painting blueprint that's going to help you to take your painting skills to the next level, as I show you a solid process for creating a landscape painting. And as I say, it's completely free. All you need to do is just click the link in the description box below. Enjoy. Now then, back to painting the clouds, and what I'm doing is I'm painting the areas of the clouds that's in the full sunlight using a mix of titanium white with a little burnt sienna. So the burnt sienna is just going to warm up the white there as well. And then next I'm able to further define the shape of the clouds by painting in the sky. So the sky is filling in the negative spaces around it, and I can also blend in the colour a little bit with the edges of the clouds. For the sky mix, I'm using ultramarine blue with titanium white and just a little bit of cobalt teal. Now if you don't have cobalt teal, you could use phthalo green instead. You'd only need a small amount of phthalo green, but it will give it that green element to the sky. And then at this point I was thinking about finishing up these clouds and just further defining the shape of them. So I'm adding more highlight here, again using titanium white with some burnt sienna, also a tiny amount of yellow ochre which I mixed in at the end. Now once I'd marked in most of the highlights here in the clouds, I then went back to the cloud shadows and just softened the edges of them, softened the bases of the clouds, and also use some light value colour for those distant clouds. So I'm just trying to soften the clouds in the distance. And as I said, I want to blend in the far distance of the landscape where it meets the horizon of the sky and just blend all that in, so it's almost like the landscape is disappearing into those clouds in the background. So just softening it all up all together, and I'm still using a number 5 bristle flat brush. And as you can see at the moment, the clouds that are further forward are darker, so this is going to bring it forward in the painting. And the next thing to do was also to start adding some of the half tones in the clouds and just add some variation in the cloud shadows, blending in the colours on the canvas, but also maintaining some of those loose painterly brush marks. I'm not going for detail in this painting, partly because it's an outdoor painting, but I don't like having my paintings overly detailed anyway. I want to create that more loose impressionistic look, but still maintain realism. At this point in my painting, I was restating the dark values, which I normally do towards the end of my plein air paintings. Restate the dark values and then add my final highlights. So I was restating the dark values here in the trees, again using a mix of ultramarine blue with yellow ochre, but also some other colours mixed in, perhaps a little bit of cobalt teal and alizarin crimson. And then also I was restating the darks here in these distant landforms. So if you remember, these are a similar colour to the clouds in the background, but just a bit darker and a bit more blue. So as these are the same colours as the clouds, it's going to help to maintain the colour harmony within the painting. And actually many of the cloud colours I've used in the actual landscape part of the fields and the trees in this painting, so it has something in common with the whole painting. So that's how we're going to achieve colour harmony. And as I say, the whole painting really is about these dramatic looking clouds. And I think these types of cloudscapes look really great on a square canvas, where you can just have the landscape part in the lower section of it and have the rest of the painting be taken up by the sky and clouds. I think it looks absolutely awesome, and I definitely want to paint some more of these types of landscapes. Now, as this painting was coming to an end, I decided to refine the shapes of the clouds further. There was a part of it I decided to get rid of, so I just painted over it with my sky mix, and I just further refined the shapes of the clouds and just added a few more shadows and highlights to it. So to recap with cloud colour mixes, use varying combinations of ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, titanium white and a little bit of alizarin crimson, and you can't go wrong. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget your free landscape painting blueprint, and I'll see you in the next video.